Danny Flexen here for Seconds Out at the Peacock Gym in vibrant East End of London. Here with Lawrence Okolie, obviously an East End product yourself. Tell us first of all, before we talk about your next fight, what is it about the Peacock Gym that makes it such a great place for you to train?
I think it's good because you get to rub shoulders with a lot of top quality boxers. You see everyone's dedication day in, day out. It's got everything you need. Obviously there's weights, there's boxing rings, there's cardio, so it's just a good all-round gym. Good history, good atmosphere.
What about the level of sparring here? I hear, and from what I've seen in the past, it can get quite fiery at times.
Yeah, it's good. I think in the different weights there's different dynamics, but in mine, there's Daniel Dubois who's here, so that's good in-house sparring, big, strong heavyweight. There's myself, all the boys at Cool Box, so yeah, it's good work.
Tell us a bit about Daniel Dubois as you brought him up. Is he someone you spar with on a regular basis?
Yeah, most camps I'll spar Dan unless I'm boxing someone really, really fast. But yeah, it's good sparring because he's, like I said, strong, good puncher, and he's always developing, so it's always good to spar.
Did you guys used to work together on like GB squads and stuff?
Yeah, we did a bit up at GB, but they were a little bit more regimented on GB, like the 91s or whatever, spar with the 91s, heavyweights. But now that I'm pro, I can just spar whoever, whenever.
Now your next fight is obviously causing a bit of a stir, Matty Askin for the British title. Biggest fight of your professional career so far, I think you'd have to say. You've given up the Commonwealth belt to make it happen as well. Was it an easy decision to make to do that?
Yeah, very easy. I mean, the choice was either to box for the Commonwealth or Henry. The choice was easy because it's like box for the Commonwealth title against a fighter, no disrespect, that I believe would be easy.
Matty Camacho, of course.
Yeah, so I wouldn't really gain much from that in terms of experience. Because I know what my journey is. So giving up wasn't a big deal. I've won it. Happy to have won it. It's an honour. But now we move on to the British title, and I'll be happy to win that. And yeah.
Before we move on, talk about Matty Askin and the big fight on the Joshua Bill in September. Do you have any preference or any belief in who Matty Camacho should fight now for your old belt?
No. No, really. It would be good for him to box someone that I haven't boxed, though, just in case they beat him or something, and then maybe I can box for the British and Commonwealth again later.
So it becomes a viable opponent for you down the line. So Matty Askin's obviously the next challenge. Yeah. Quite early in your career to be going for the British title and against someone so experienced as a pro. What is it about you and your journey so far that means you can be fast-tracked, you can be accelerated?
I just feel like I have good attributes, mental and physical. So I'm obviously confident, very strong, good puncher. Just good, and I live the life day in, day out. So that gives me confidence to get in there and compete with anyone. And I feel that experience it depends what kind of experience. Having a lot of fights doesn't make you vastly experienced. Does that make sense? It means you've had lots of camps and so on and so forth, but in certain situations, are you experienced with someone with my style, with my just different stuff like that? We'll see.
Your style and also your physical dimensions, it must be very hard, I always think, for a potential opponent or a future opponent to find good sparring for you. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that. You can get similar-ish. You can get a tall guy, a strong guy, whatever, but you won't get it all condensed. So the reason why I hit so hard is not because I'm a massive puncher, but lots of little stuff that will show itself on fight day.
What do you make of Matty Askin as a fighter? You've clearly got respect for him, but what do you make of his kind of strengths and weaknesses that you've watched of him so far?
Yeah, he's just a good all-round fighter. I don't want to say too much, but I know when he's at his best and when he's not at his best, what kind of situation he likes to be in, what kind of traps he likes to set. So he's just a good, fringe world level fighter, but
How much does it mean to you, not just that you're fighting Matty Askin for the British, but it's on such a big stage? When you weigh up the two things, what's more important to you, the kind of stage you're fighting on or the prize at stake?
Well, I think to me it's more about the statement that it makes, so it's a statement of intent. I've boxed undefeated fighters, undefeated fighter, Commonwealth, grudge matches very early on in my career. We haven't even hit the second year and already I'm looking to box for the British title. So it's more a statement of my intent and to show it to myself, if that makes sense. So beating Matty doesn't do anything amazing for me. Like, I don't know Matty as a person, I don't care about him or his life. The British title is amazing, the Commonwealth title is amazing, but to me they're all just steps. Like, my aim is to be a world champion and unified. So it's all just steps. So it being on a big show, it's fantastic, but I'm used to being shown to hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people boxed in front of a big crowd, so that's not a big deal to me. Neither is a British title, neither is Matty Askin, but to me, the biggest deal was how I feel within myself.
With that in mind, the kind of fast track in this being a step towards where you want to go, and the fact that you, as you mentioned, you gave up the Commonwealth title having won it, can we expect a long reign as British champion, or is it just something to until you get a world level fight?
Yeah, I think it really depends. Obviously, I love the British title and what it represents, because I didn't actually win the ABAs as an amateur, so it'd be good to win the British title as a professional. But I think beating Matty Askin puts me on another level from the rest of the British fighters at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see who actually wants to fight me when the time's right, because without going into too much detail, there's been offers made to everyone in the top maybe 6 or so in Britain, and Matty was mandated to fight me as opposed to choosing to. So it'll be interesting to see after I win this fight, in the style that I'm planning on winning it, who's really going to be asking. So we'll see.
What do you see as your future off this fight? Because you're talking about whether the British guys will come forward and be willing to fight you, but are you looking on another level to that, to the European or to the fringe world level after Matty?
Yeah, so it depends entirely on how I beat Matty. So if I beat him the way that I visualise in my head, then we move on to European, and then we maybe box around fringe world level for a bit, see what a former world champion was like, a world title challenger, and then push on to world titles. It's my mental thing, but you have to reassess after every fight, so I only know after beating Matty.